Good morning, and welcome to East Tucson Baptist Church. I'm Carl, and this is our prayer and reflection time. Recently, several things have come together that have reminded me of my roommate I had in Kobe. I may have told this story before, so please just follow along. You see, when I was in Japan, I had originally was planning to go to Osaka for the summer. But as opportunities arose, I started out in Kobe. Now the thing was, I had long-term plans in Kobe, so to fill in while I was gone in Osaka, we brought in another native English speaker to help teach while I was gone for the summer. And so, he was a college kid, and he was all right. He probably had better English than I do. But he did have some negative traits, and those negative traits really kind of became apparent when I had returned. 2 weeks before my planned return to Kobe, I had some paperwork to pick up for my visa in Kobe. So I came back from Osaka to Kobe to pick up those papers, but also to drop off a few things while I was there. And so when I stopped by the apartment, to my shock and horror, there was a drastic mess there. There was trash not even been taken out once while I'd been gone for almost 2 months. And on top of that, dishes were stacked everywhere. I didn't even know I had that many dishes in the apartment. The place was just a terrible mess. Fortunately or unfortunately, my roommate was there. And so I was talking to him like, "Hey man, I'm going to be back in 2 weeks. I want to see this all cleaned up." Okay, I'll do it. Well, I went back. 2 weeks later, I returned. And he had not done a single thing since. In fact, it was a bigger mess than it was when I had left because, he had still not taken out the trash. And so there was 2 weeks worth of trash added to what was already there. And so, I was just disappointed. I'm like, "Why didn't you do it?" Well, he kind of kept putting it off. "I'll do it later." And that later kept coming later until it got to be 2 weeks when I returned. And the worst part of the whole thing is that I gave him plenty of opportunities to clean up, even after I returned, because he was still there for another 2 weeks. Gave him all these opportunities to clean up. In fact, I even tried to entice him and say, "Hey, I'll take you to Osaka and see some of the cool things over there," because he was really into Japan. But at the same time, those last 2 weeks, he pretty much spent his entire time in that apartment. And I think about some of the parables Jesus spoke about. In Matthew 24, 42 to 44, I'm paraphrasing here, but the Lord said he was coming back. But he would come back like a thief in the night, so that those who were unprepared would be caught off guard. But the wise homeowner, if he knew the thief was coming, would be prepared for him. My roommate knew I was going to return. He wasn't surprised by my return. But he was like the lazy servant in Matthew 25. He didn't use that investment that was given to him. Instead, he just let it be and try not to make things worse. So just thinking about that story and the biblical connection, what things are you putting off that the Lord has called you to do? What ways should you be preparing? Who have you put off calling? Who have you put off helping? So today, I'd like you to pray to confess those things that you've put off, that the Lord has called you to do, but you said, "I will do that later." But also pray that God will give you opportunities and help you see those opportunities and to take them. So will you please pray with me? Lord, I thank you for this day that we can come together and worship you. And Lord, we all confess this, but I do especially that at times I have been that lazy servant. I have put off doing what you have called me to do. Lord, please forgive us for that. Forgive me for putting off all the things I should do. But Lord, as we move forward, open our eyes to opportunities, ways that we can reach that goal, to do what we should do, to do what we have been called to do. In your name. Lord, watch over us and keep us safe as we go out and do these things you have called us to do. In your precious Son's name, amen. Thank you for praying with me. Let's continue on with our services today.